Hi guys, welcome to another review and again with RaceRoom. And as you can see, yes, it is now possible to run multi-class cars on RaceRoom. So previously you had to pick a content and drive, but you could not mix GT3 cars with GT4 cars or with any other class. Now it is possible. Now it's even possible to select the skins of the cars you want to include in your AI event or in your multiplayer event. So you can pick a GT3 car, for instance, the Mercedes, and you can choose the skins you want to see, or the cars, which is basically the same, the skins, the cars, you want to see on a given server or on a given event you are racing. No matter if it's with AI or with your friends on a server or on a league. So this is a huge step forward that Sector 3 Studios has decided to take to finally allow users to take more out of this sim. This is a really good sim, and therefore this makes it even better because it makes it even more a choice to users. So on a track, for instance, like this one, where we decided to put some GT3 cars on track along with some GT4 cars, and also with some cars from the Audi TT Cup RS VLN, the Audi TT RS VLN car. Sorry, we chose 4 or 5 of these to be along with the others on track. And we decided to go for some laps at Bathurst. I'm taking the opportunity to show you this really interesting camera angle that shows you a lap at Bathurst from a different view, so that we could also take into consideration the ups and downs of this impressive track, one of the best tracks in the world, at least in my opinion. And yeah, now it's possible to bring all these cars together and make some very interesting races, because multi-class races are always interesting because of the different pace between the cars that poses new challenges to drivers, as you will see later in the video. So on a track such as this one, Bathurst, you can pick up to 35 cars. But for instance, if you go to the Nordschleife, it's possible to, yeah, small mistake there, little contact with the wall, and then I had to go a little bit wide, but nothing much, just a little bit wide. So as I was mentioning, on a track such as the Nordschleife, you can prepare, if you want to, 99 cars to race. So it's really possible to replicate one of those amazing events of that Nordschleife only championship, which is the VLN series, and they run several classes there, and a lot of cars always on track in each event, and here you can replicate that to at least 99 cars. So it's a huge step forward in this sim that will make it even more interesting. Although it, as I mentioned in the previous video, also released today, it's still lacking important stuff to make the simulation more complete. I mean, RaceRoom, such as the dynamic weather, the rubbering of the track, and of course the night and day evolution. So with those details, this would really be a much stronger sim. But even so, in terms of the physics and the dynamics and the sounds, this is one of the best out there. So I'm driving, obviously, as you noticed, the Mercedes. I believe this is the car that is driven in real life by Cooper McNeil and also by Jerome Blakemolen. So it's the car I chose for these laps, and always a pleasure to drive at Bathurst. So with this introduction in the sim, Sector 3 Studios makes it much more interesting, because there's a huge community that is selecting GT events and GT3 events and sports car events to be basically where they race, and it's much stronger, the sim, when it allows us to use different classes in GT racing. But not only in GT, you can use this, of course, you can use this with touring cars mixed with the GT cars and DTM cars also, or whatever you like, although I do believe it will not be interesting to mix these cars, for instance, at the same time on track with Formula cars. But well, who am I to judge that? If it happens, maybe it's interesting, maybe it's a new driving experience. Anyway, we just decided to mix three classes here, also because this sim allows us to, for instance, enjoy some really special cars, such as the GT4 cars, which is a tool that other sim racing platforms are not yet using, at least not till now. But RaceRoom is in fact has in fact released very interesting overtaking there, but then I had to be careful because the pace is a lot different between the cars on track. The GT4 cars are not as the slower ones of all, although the car from the VLN is also not very powerful, but the GT3 cars are definitely the most powerful here, and this poses a new challenge because you have to be really wary of the distances and where to brake, and take into consideration, for instance, that the GT4 cars brake a lot earlier than the GT3 cars, and you will notice that closer to the end of this video what can happen. Anyway, it's really good, and Sector 3 Studios released in one of their latest releases was the GT4 cars. We will be also reviewing that in one of our following videos. But now we decided to focus in this new feature for the sim, which is allowing the mix of multi-class cars, because it does really go into the requests and or maybe the demands of the community. They really wanted to see this in this sim to take more advantage of its potential in terms of the physics, in terms of the sounds and of the graphics, and basically because of this the sensations that sim racers have when they are driving using this sim. So driving with multi-class cars also makes you step up a little bit in terms of your driving, because you have to really be more focused on track. You have to take into consideration that you are, for instance, now I'm following a GT4 car right there. I believe it's a GT4, or maybe it's it's a GT4 car, the Lotus, and you have to be focused, because you have to calculate when is the right time to overtake. You do not want to run over one of these cars on braking, because that will probably make you retire from your event or from your race, or at least cause damage in your car. For instance, now this is a complicated moment because I'm overtaking this GT4 car, and there's a GT4 car also exiting the pits, so I was able to overtake them with no issues. I was also under pressure from a GT3 car close behind me, and with this I was able to breathe for a while. But then the problem is, for instance, in this track, when you get to a more technical part of the track and you see a GT4 car there, and then when you think you fit on this hole there, but you don't, you hit the car, and this is what you must avoid when you are on track with different class cars and with cars with different performances, because a mistake can be really costly. But this is also going to be a step up for sim racers or drivers, because they will have to manage their pace better to know, just like they do in other sims where multi-class racing is already possible, was already possible. They will have to mix to step up their driving in order to be able to manage these situations on track, because this is really important in terms of multi-class racing. So, new feature for the sim. The community was asking for quite some time these guys to deliver this. They were paying attention, but they wanted to do this in the proper way, and now it is available, and it works really well. And yeah, I had a lot of fun driving in this track, and yeah, I'm pretty sure you will have a lot of fun also now when using RaceRoom to be able to select the classes and the cars and the skins you want to see on track from different classes, and it will be much better for your sim racing experience. I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. As usual, I do the comments live. It's not my native language, so I do my best. I hope you enjoyed, and forgive me for some imprecision in my commentary. If you like this video, please click the like button and follow us at onwheelstv.com. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.